right.
I'm back, baby.
Yeah. So why don't you do the spiel?
Yeah, so this is a virtual brown bag. This is where we get online and we talk shop and go through recent blog posts, books, techniques, tricks, frameworks, what you normally get from talking around the water cooler when you may or may not have a water cooler to talk around. We do stream this live. So when you do screen share or what you say is going to be shared. So make sure you don't share secret keys and passwords and anything that might be protected by NDA or any of your company's code. And yeah, I think that's covers the stuff. And I think, I've been gone for 2 weeks, visiting a new company in Australia. It was awesome. Pretty cool group. Went to the Elixir meetup while over there. So that was pretty neat. And Brisbane might as well be the Australian sister city to Houston. Like it's equally the same weather and about
It's
the same
so
size
exciting.
and super exciting. Yeah, except Brisbane's a little bit nicer. I would say Brisbane's a little bit nicer than Houston. It was fun.
Are there sidewalks?
Yes, lots of sidewalks.
Then it's not like Houston.
Yeah. Well, they actually sort of have a city planning thing going on, and like Houston's just like a free for all. Like whatever, sure, you want to put that? That's fine. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, you wanted to talk about Space Max. But wait, before we go into that, I caught like the first 30 minutes of the Google announcements and missed the rest of it. Does anybody know what cool stuff happened? Catch me up. Nobody.
Yeah. Oh, are they announcing like something? Like
they announced their own phone. That's for sure. The Pixel phone, which had been leaked before, but does look cool. And
does it catch fire? Because I hear that's sort of a thing now.
I think it doesn't. That's a feature.
It's a feature that doesn't catch. I've never travel on a plane. I'd never before have it where like they call out a very specific phone. They're like, "Do not turn it on. Do not charge it. Do not do anything.
Do not look at it." Yeah. So they just did that. It supposedly has like the best camera ever. Got a pretty neat form factor. It's and like there's I stayed long enough to hear new stuff with Google Assistant, a lot of which sounded like old stuff, but there's kind of new ways of interacting with it, and supposedly it's better at doing like context sensitive lookups, and where it'll just like read your screen and like be like, oh, are you talking about a restaurant and therefore want to make a reservation, stuff like that. But we'll see how well all that works. But yeah, could be nice and convenient. A lot of, that's what I'm saying. I only watched the first half hour, and a lot of the stuff they showed, I was like, I already do that with my phone. But
yeah, I just found a little site going through stuff. I'm not much of a latest gadget guy. I have a friend who's really big into gadgets and sort of he wires up all his house and stuff. I'll tell you the thing I wanted last night though was a smart fire alarm. Do they have smart fire alarms? Where like it gives me a warning like, hey, by the way, your battery might be running out, instead of in the middle of the night deciding, hey, guess what, the battery's running out. Oh, you don't have any batteries? I'll just beep all night, thanks.
That is nice. Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, it'd be like, hey, just letting you know. The battery's going to be pretty low, and you might want to have some replacements. I'd be like, oh, cool, yeah, that's all I want. And I'm sure Nest will come out with one that'll cost $500 each. And I'll be like, no, I can't afford that.
Well, as far as smart devices, I like the Wemo outlets, which is just an internet, a Wi-Fi connected outlet. That's been pretty good. I've got my outdoor lights on it, and that hooks up to the Echo, so I could be like, turn on the outdoor lights and stuff like that. I've got my TV hooked up to it, so I can yell at it, turn up the TV. But I cannot have it down because that's a completely different thing. So that's a problem. But So yesterday, my wife had like the monthly. This happens every single month where she like calls me. She's like, I can't remember if I turned the iron off. Go home and do it. Go home and check it. Uh, so that happened. Now I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna stick a Wemo in that outlet. That way I can go on my phone and be like, okay, the outlet itself is off. The iron is definitely off. It's fine. Um, it's,
Yeah. In other news,
I've
we joked
been enjoying
around.
the Wemos.
Yeah,
They're like
Nest,
$30 a piece.
yeah. We joked around, but Nest does have a smart fire alarm.
Oh, of course I do.
Yeah, and it costs $100.
Yeah. Cool. So so you're not into new gadgets. So that's why we were talking about smart fire alarms, and that's why you wanted to talk about Space Max.
Yeah, that's right. Let's talk about Space Max. Let's do some stuff. Let me start sharing a screen. And so, the attraction to me with Space Max is that I see people more and more in my circles loving it. So,
You want to start by summarizing what it is?
So it's like here. I'll share the screen and be like, it's a community-driven Emacs. So, from what I understand, Emacs is very customizable and set and etc. But like maybe it takes a long time to configure, right? And that Space Emacs comes with like a package of how to make it easier, more approachable, and better for software developers. That's my assumption.
Yeah, it's a configuration for Emacs. You know, partially they'll help with making stuff more standard. One of the big appeals for it is how well it integrates Evil Mode. Evil Mode is Vim key bindings for Emacs. The Emacs is an old text editor that's just as old as Vim, pretty much, and very, very powerful. It's written entirely in Lisp. It's called eLisp. It's basically an eLisp processor. So therefore, because it's Lisp, it's like super, super extensible in every single way. And it's been around forever with lots of really smart guys doing it. And basically that's what Richard Stallman does, if you've ever wondered, besides eat his toe fungus, whatever.
All right, let's see if I get further along than I did last time installing this. See, I got it installed, but then I couldn't ever get. Okay, so now it's installed, and then it's like, okay, now what?
Open Emacs.
Just Emacs.
Yep. Now, so okay, if you open up here, you're going to be using the. I did the same thing. You're going to be, first of all, you are like 3 major versions behind on Emacs, so quit it, update it.
That's a good question. How do we quit?
Control X, Control C.
Yeah, I think one of the confusing things that it's simple to install, but they don't mention, at least not there. They mention it on the GitHub repo to install Emacs first.
Yeah, I had the same thing. I think Brian, you had to talk me through it and be like, no, it's just run the Emacs.
Yeah.
How do I install Emacs?
I think it's brew upgrade Emacs.
Okay.
Now, it actually go further. So I was doing the same way you were, and everyone yelled at me like you should use the GUI Emacs.
Yeah.
So uninstall Emacs actually.
Okay.
And then install Emacs with Coca, which is how you get the GUI Emacs.
Emacs with Coca,
it's a flag you give it.
Okay. So it's not this. I was like, what is this?
Wait.
That's a different flavor. That's one there's a bunch of different flavors for Mac that make it easier, I guess, to use it with a Mac. But they point to the one that they recommend in the README, which is basically, I put it in the chat, but it's basically the default Emacs, but they add like one parameter on there to use the Space Max icon. That's the only difference.
I have in the chat, I have the command.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you see it right there.
I'm
Grab it
sharing
out of
the,
there. Like that. That's
chat.
basically it. It's the world of Emacs now is like walls of text that like explain stuff pretty well. But I think with Coca has to come before Emacs, but I'm not sure. Actually, you know what? It probably works.
I
Anyway.
didn't uninstall Emacs, so we'll see how awesome I messed that up.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I installed mine with a bunch of the flags.
Wait, what does that mean? What does
Like
that do if you do that flag with
so
Ubuntu?
so yeah, so the ones I have is with Cocoa, with new TLS, with ImageMagick, and well with SpaceMax icon. There's also
But like, what do
like,
those flags do?
the Cocoa one is well, you know what that does. The new TLS, I think what that does is uses like I guess some TLS tools from like the GNU project, I guess. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
The image magic one I think is used for like so you can actually like show images in Emacs, which it can do.
All
So
right.
I use it a lot.
But that's all stuff you could install into Emacs after the fact. It's just.
Well, not really, like it because it's built with it.
Oh, so okay. So that's a compiler flag that you're passing through or something.
Right.
Okay, and I guess with Coca is also that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Boy, it's
man,
taking a sweet time.
it's regenerating the font cache. It might take a while.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. So yeah, let's do that. Oh, you're still on El Capitan, right?
Yeah, is that like what's the new one? Sierra or something?
Yeah. It's driving me bonkers
I-
because Sail stops working with it, and I use Sail in order to rebind caps lock to escape, which is insanely important for any of my Vim key bindings, which I use for everything. And Sail stopped working, and they don't seem terribly concerned about fixing it.
Ask Siri, right?
So
Siri,
bad.
can
I
you
actually kind of want
fix
to
my
roll
caps lock?
back. Yeah. I don't know how. I don't know how. Is it even possible to roll back OS X updates?
I don't know, but between that and the iOS update, I'm thinking that that Mac and Windows should both adopt the node strategy of like, look, they're the latest and greatest, and then there's the long-term stable path. Be like, sign me for that. I'm tired of everybody upgrading and moving my stuff around. Get off my yard.
Well, I kind of needed to upgrade because like I was having really weird issues with my Wi-Fi, like only on my MacBook and only on my home Wi-Fi. After I was maybe online for about like an hour, 30 minutes, it would just like all my web traffic would slow to a crawl. Most of it would time out. However, like Slack and everything else would work fine. Just my web traffic and just on my computer and just on my home network would crawl. So that hasn't happened since I updated, but at the same time, I can't use any text editor anymore. Like my most common key is gone.
That sucks. Well, why don't you just move escape back?
What do you mean move it back?
Just use the old-fashioned. What did you bind escape to?
I bound caps lock to escape.
Yeah.
I hit escape all the time.
I don't have it to escape, but I mean you can do it natively through Mac. I don't know if you can do like escape through the native Mac thing.
Yeah, it's easy to bind
later.
control, which is what I do.
Yeah, I bind it to control. Through the you can do it through Mac OS.
You bind escape to control? No, right. You could, but I don't need control.
No, I bind control to caps lock. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't need to hit control very often. I need to hit escape very often.
Yes. Well, wait. Before I stop, let me look it up and see if we can actually.
It's not it's not in the system settings. It's very, very frustrating. Yeah.
Have any of y'all used Fresh?
No, what is that?
It's you can use Fresh to like manage your Bash configuration and stuff. So they had a brown bag at the company, and one of my coworkers was showing it, and I was going to follow along, but I had some other things pop up. But I might dabble with that. I just wanted to see if anyone else has used it. It basically it's a way of organizing your dot files and all that jazz, and it was pretty interesting because then you can easily share things too. It reminded me a little bit like a Docker config file, but for your Bash. So like, you can easily pull in like people's individual functions and stuff. So you can be like, oh, like instead of like, hey, I want everything that Brian has, but I could pull his config file, but generally you would split up into these individual functions and be like, most of what Brian has, I don't want, but you know what? That alias I just saw him use was awesome. So I can, if he shared his, I can just pull in that one part, and it'll keep everything up to date and it's synced.
It's all the various dot files. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's better than just backups.
Yeah, right now I use old school. My stuff's in Dropbox, and I Symlink the stuff. But I saw this, and I was like, this looks better. But getting it configured is one of those where it's like, okay, save all your previous files because we're about to start with a blank slate. And for me, and the idea of doing that in Bash, I'm like, uh-oh. Like, we're in dangerous territory here.
So, okay, you are make installing now. This is, okay.
Yeah, it's going.
Soon or in a while. I guess in the meantime, you've seen the What It's Like to Learn JavaScript in 2016 article?
Yeah, I posted that. Did you read that, George?
Yeah, I read it. It's
some of it. Some of it I disagreed with, but it's nice to read an article like that written from by a JavaScript person, right? Like, if you read a lot of critiques of JavaScript from people who are like, it's not like Ruby or whatever, it's not like Java, I want to go back to Python, but like reading it from someone who is still a developer, right, is
I put it in chat. So this is it's just talking.
Is that what this is, or is that?
Yeah, it's just talking through the insane tool set that you kind of have to learn. People that tell you have to learn.
I had that. It had their coworker. I was just sitting there typing this one back. And I was like, "Why is there 5,000 ways of doing something?" And the other guy was like, "JavaScript." I also asked. I'd be like, "So, what do you tell people? Most of the time they're like, okay, you want JavaScript, you need to use that and Node in the back end." So, I posed the question, I was like, "Well, what do you respond to people that?" If they say, hey, if you don't have JavaScript in the back end, then someone has to learn another language. And the response is, that's part of the attraction, isn't it?
All right, that's not bad. All right, so try to open up Emacs. All
right.
Command space Emacs. Well, no, don't launch it from the command line.
Okay.
Command space. Use the launcher. Command space Emacs. Oh, it's not in there. Do you have Alfred? Oh, yeah, this is Alfred. Use the actual launcher.
I like Spotlight.
Use the system finder because it might not be indexed by Alfred yet. No. Okay.
But we didn't do everything they did here. I did not do these. Right, and that's going to take a while too.
Well, hold on. So, we could work with the command line one and kind of give you an idea.
Get this thing going as we're going. We've still got other stuff.
See, I didn't do any of this stuff though.
This is the recommended way, though, George.
All right.
This README was probably written 6 months ago, and no one does it this way anymore.
Yeah. But you are already in sandbox and blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. Well, while you're doing all this, we can talk about that article more. Here's the thing, and actually, I was talking to someone about this yesterday because we were shitting on Visual Studio and so on. There's a very interesting parallel there, right? Because the whole the biggest problem with Visual Studio that I feel is lack of diversity. It's just the way that nobody uses Mono Develop or Sharp Develop or anything like that. Like you just use Visual Studio, which means CS project, or like the project files suck and they are awful and they don't have to change it. If you get a serious competitor, now stuff needs to change, and that's great, and everyone's like, yay, diversity. But then you get like Node, where everyone's like flipping out. There's too much diversity. How are we supposed to keep track of all this? You're in a very, very large community. It's interesting. Like we're there's a curve that we're seeing where like maybe really a diversity of, a couple types of things and a few different options within that thing is ideal. And after that, people are, you're maybe better served by fragmenting the community and having like a community where there is a way of doing things. If you guys understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Talk to an example.
Like okay, for example, so what to me is one of the more obvious fragments of the Node community, of the Node and JavaScript community, is Meteor. The Meteor guys. I mean, and yes, there is tech to Meteor. There's a technology that did, but for the most part, it's kind of like, all right, use WebSockets for communications. You set all your shit up. Like it's that a bunch of decisions are nailed down, and there's like you still make some decisions, especially with the newer stuff that's coming out. You're still definitely making some decisions, but it's and the Meteor community seems pretty happy for the most part. Your thing is finished, but I think that might be like kind of where like the ideal area is kind of for the JavaScript community to maybe start fragmenting a little more, and that way people just pick a community and like subscribe to its way of doing things.
I can agree with that because it's a large surface of people, and there isn't really a one. I mean, it's just a programming language and it's a big program. There's no one right way to do whatever. Like there's some people use JavaScript for web development. There's some people that use it for I don't know, backend services, and it's like the two things don't necessarily have the same tools involved.
Yeah, and I mean that's one thing which I totally laud Angular for. Like they're committing to TypeScript, and fine, good for them. TypeScript is actually going to cut down on a lot of options. Okay, there you go. You got it running.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah.
So what I did while you were talking, I opened up my Finder, and in my applications folder there was Emacs inside there.
Yep. Okay. So, click just anywhere in there.
Okay.
You should be able. Do you use Vim?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got your Vim key bindings, HJKL, all this stuff.
Apparently I'm in insert mode because.
Yeah. Well, hit escape.
I did.
Oh. Okay. Well, let's open up something. Let's open up a key. So you're committing.
What's your preferred editing style? How about that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Answer all those questions.
Yeah, that's important.
On the planet Emacs in the Holy Control Tower. I have no idea. Among the stars for the evil flagship. Yes.
Evil. Yeah.
What distribution of Space Emacs would you like to start with? Standard or minimalist distribution? Yeah. Standard.
Probably standard.
What type of completion framework do you want? A heavy one but full featured? A lighter one but still very powerful? I want full featured, heavy one. Do it.
Do it. All right. So it's going out. It's contacting Melpa, which is the package manager for Emacs, downloading a bunch of stuff. There you go. It's going to be kind of frozen while it does that. Another thing I didn't know about. I was like, oh my God, it's just not working. What the hell? But it's doing stuff.
I like how it automatically tells you that you're evil. That's just awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You hate yourself. You're like, I want to use Emacs and use Vim bindings. Like, you're evil because you hate yourself and want to torture yourself. All right, doing his thing. So it's been several weeks since the GitHub project stuff got announced and rolled out. I assume. Are any of y'all starting to use that?
Not yet.
Our group is using code reviews pretty extensively. This is new to me because I'm used to no one giving a crap about what your Git messages. To this is like on the extreme of like it's super, super important. And I'm like, man, I couldn't even get anyone to look at my pull request before. And now it's like,
what is happening?
Team review of everything. It's like, okay, perspective. One person joined in and he made a migration that added 2 columns to a record, and he had 3 people review and give him things to change. It was like, he's just adding 2 columns, guys. All right, so what happened here? Why do I have a bunch of warnings? Are we good?
I think you're probably good.
All right. Bam. All right, so, oh, hey, moving around.
Yeah, so you should be able to use the Vim bindings.
Yeah. All right. What are we doing next?
Well, you're pretty much done, but if you want to like look at the configuration, you can look at the .spacemacs file. So you can just open up that file. It's in your home folder. So
can
well, hold on. Let's show them how
you have
to
you have like these commands. I remember watching someone do.
Yeah.
How do I do this?
So okay. The first thing that you're going to want to do is so space is kind of the all right. Let's start with the Emacs command stuff. So yeah, and actually, can you bring Emacs up a bit from the bottom because everyone's faces are overlapping it. Yeah.
I'm gonna put this right here in a minute.
All right. So hit space. Yeah.
All right.
There you go. So basically, it's telling you like things you could do. Anything that's like in blue. So is a sub menu, so you can hit B. Right now, it's going to move into the buffers sub menu. Right.
Gotcha.
Okay. Escape. Space again. Yeah, there you go. So the key thing you're going to use a lot is colon here.
And what does a colon do for me?
So space colon is going to open up
undefined.
Escape. Go back to and do space. Nope, escape. Wrong mode. Space. Colon.
Semicolon, you mean?
Nope, so regular colon.
Undefined.
Brian,
oh wait, George,
space?
they changed it in the latest version of SpaceMax. So do space.
Oh shit, I like space.
Yeah, I like it too.
So this is.
Wait, you said you don't like it or you like it? Because I like it.
Well, I used space already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is the big fuzzy match command of the Control-Shift-P of Emacs.
Okay.
All the global commands that are available. So
I'm annoyed that it's not like I really would like if it gave the shortcuts that you had bound in the way that Atom does it. I mean,
well, it does give you that. Yeah, right there.
Like right next to that.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you make that full? Can you make that full screen?
Or wait, what?
I'm trying to see if I can. Oh, I see. Let's see if I can share just that. How about that? Let me stop here. And share just.
Actually, I have to run now. Sorry.
But yeah, this is better, JB. Yeah, you see how it gives you the commands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it is giving you the SpaceMax bindings. So there's like a million different bindings. The regular way to enter this menu, like if you're okay, keep in mind, SpaceMax is all these configurations on top there. Sometimes the SpaceMax configurations fails, or there's something weird about the configuration of the buffers where the SpaceMax configurations aren't enabled for that buffer. In which case, like MetaX, you're back to like the default Emacs configurations. So there's a couple that's just worth knowing about. Like MetaX brings this up. MetaM, basically, MetaM is the same as that space menu. So Alt M should also bring up that menu. There you go. So just those are Emacs bindings that are useful to know. So okay, let's do this. Open up that commands prompt, and we'll use it to open up a buffer. So just type new buffer.
The empty buffer.
Yeah.
Hey guys, got to run too. See y'all.
All right, thanks. Yeah, open it. All right, so that gives you a new empty buffer. So now
what's a buffer in this context? Like,
a buffer is an in-memory buffer that you're writing stuff to. Buffers get saved to files.
Okay.
And then there's the concept of, it's called Windows in SpaceMax, which is what you think about like split window and stuff like that. So Windows in Emacs is like split screens. Frame is the actual application itself. Okay. So
each window in a split screen is a buffer. Correct.
Right. Each window in a split screen. It's showing a buffer, but actually, so let's do this. Let's do a split screen now. So do space. We're going to operate on Windows, so W is in this. So
split window, right?
Split it and focus on the other window.
V?
So, capital V, like vector. Okay. So now same buffer, open in multiple things. You could change in one view, it change in the other. Let's kind of see whatever. It's just two views into the same file. So let's change the buffer you're on right now.
Okay.
So space B for buffer. B will show you all the recent and open buffers. B again.
Okay.
So these are all like for example, the Scratch buffer opens automatically. The Scratch buffer is just a Lisp interpreter kind of thing with Lisp stuff enabled. But a .spacemax is a good one to look at because that's your big configuration file. So let's select that, enter. And honestly, it's going to store like a full list of, fuzzy searching list of everything that has your entire history. Okay, here's what we're going to look through. So you see the configuration layers. Layers is a SpaceMax specific bundle of configurations. So Helm is good. Probably let's go ahead and enable auto completion, better defaults. Git markdown. Avoid syntax checking for now because it's kind of annoying.
Why syntax checking?
So that's actually for me. Like I haven't been able to get it to work quite correctly with JavaScript files. Go ahead and enable it, whatever. Okay, so you could save it using regular key bindings. Yep, colon W should work. In fact, if you press colon, it'll drop you in X mode, right? So you could do stuff like edit and buffer and so on. Yeah. What you could do, you could do Q exclamation point, but you have all your stuff. You could do colon S, colon %S, and so on. You have all that stuff, right? Yeah. So if you want to do regex replace. So right now we've made changes to it. Let's tell it to reload the configuration. So we're going to do space,
Let's see. Do we have a config there? Projects,
Space.
insertion, listener, compile, comments.
Where you looking for? Oh no, it's going to be under F for files.
Okay.
E for Emacs, and then capital R for reload. And I mean, like, again, you could do, the meta X space and search word as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that. So if I did space,
but these are just like the key
thinking thing. It's
well,
thinking, so I can't do anything.
You see, it's downloading. It's downloading all the stuff that you enabled.
Yeah. It needs a little hourglass saying, "Hey, I'm doing stuff."
Well, it does right at the bottom. Contacting host. See, it's telling you.
I see it's doing stuff, but I'm like, it would be nice to have something a little more in my face.
Sure.
But
yeah.
That's good. Hey, it's done. Okay. So space. So what we did, like a reload.
It's probably like dot file or
start Emacs.
Yeah, it's probably Space Max refresh or Space Max reload. Yeah, if you look at it enough, you'll find it.
Space Max buffer refresh.
No, that's not going to be it. Because that would be just refresh the buffer. I'm assuming reread it from the file. So reload. Oh wait, it's not any of these. So if you go to the menu and you can find. By the way, okay, one thing that will be useful, like I said, sometimes it'll knock you out of evil mode, so you're like, "Fuck, I don't have any of my bindings."
Yeah.
This happened from that command. So you would do meta X and then turn on evil, and then it'll bring it back. Yeah, turn on evil mode. So that'll bring it back and make sure it's not going away and so on. When it does knock you out of it, it'll only be on the buffer level, but it's still pretty annoying, like just something crashing inside of it. Okay, so let's do a couple things. First of all, navigating between windows.
Okay.
So if you do space W space, that's going to jump to the other window.
Space.
If you
W space did not work, so maybe there's another one.
Wait, no, yeah, it did. What window are you in right now?
I'm in the right one.
Are you?
Yeah, so I'm here.
Do space W again. Did they change it?
So space W.
Yeah.
Let's see if they have. What's the one that's jump?
Let me see what
evil window. A swap window. Pop up.
Let's see. For me, it's called Ace window. So can you do meta X window? Do space,
Ace.
Right? Ace dash window. Yeah. Okay. Space W. Okay, they've changed it.
Hey, there we go. So
all right.
Space WW.
So let's there. It's cooler than that. It's not just a go to other window. Let's split this again. So do
space window
H. Capital H. Yeah.
Wait, no, space. Yeah, I think I broke it.
To space W. Did they change? They
space just, W.
Is it H?
Evil move far left. What if a split window below?
Yeah, split window below. That's what
there we go.
Okay, so in here, space BB and let's just open up like the scratch buffer right there. Or messages, either one. Okay, just type anything in there. Just blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now let's do the space WW thing. Space, yeah. So see how it grays everything out and there's the red? So by pressing those those you can navigate between them.
Okay. I can be like, hey, I want to go down there.
Exactly, and that's really nice. The other thing is once you do space W, you can actually navigate windows with JKL semicolon, which is kind of nice. But I find Ace Jump to be better in literally every situation. Also, but you can move windows with capital J, capital K, capital L.
Okay.
Which is kind of neat. Okay, so we've got that. Let's see what else is useful. So, like, honestly, the window management is the big thing that I find freaking awesome.
What about running commands? Like, let's say getting other packages. Like, how do I get other packages? And
Right. Okay. So the first thing you would do is like you would search if there's like an SpaceMax layer, which there isn't. So let's say you want to install Golden Ratio, which is awesome and very useful. So let's jump back to your SpaceMax buffer.
Okay, SpaceMax buffer. So let me
Space W capital.
And I go, hey, now I'm into this guy.
Yep. So go search back up through layers. I think it's up from here.
Yep. What is it? Pay. It's been stop.
No, question mark.
Pay? Question mark.
Yeah, question mark layers. Keep hitting it, or an N will go. It's just the Vim key bindings.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is all the stuff that's available in layers. Now you see down below dot SpaceMax additional packages.
Okay.
That's where you add anything else. So go down toward that area. Actually, can you do meta X line numbers just to stuff easy?
Line number mode.
Line number. That's line. Yeah, line number mode sounds good. Nope. Try it again. Maybe there's another one that's.
Toggle line numbers.
Yeah, there you go. Cool.
There we go.
All right. So let's add, so you put your cursor inside those brands, hit enter, and we're going to add golden dash ratio to there. You probably want to go multi-line with this because you'll be adding stuff in there. So remember, there's no commas as you add multiple things. Let it format it. Let it format it for you.
What? Like it will format it for you?
Let it. You know, this is Lisp. Don't try to tell it how to do parentheses. Yeah, let it do its own parentheses thing.
Well, how will it do it? Like, does it automatically do?
Actually, the standard way of doing it, although it seems not to be doing it here. Well, it does in some it just doesn't do it above. Is to have closing parentheses on the same line as the last thing.
Yeah.
That's the Lisp way of doing it. Most things will really fight you to not do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, golden ratio. Now we can reload it. Space FE capital R, or whatever we found out that it was. Oh, and download it.
I think it did it.
So let's enable it. So space or meta X golden ratio mode. Right.
All right. So what does that do?
Okay. So now switch to a different window. So space WW. Go ahead and switch to a window. It's going to expand. The focused window is going to expand to occupy more of the buffer, more of the frame.
Cool.
Yeah. So super useful. Let's kill this window. I'm sure there's a way to do it through the W command, but just I don't actually
see Ace delete window.
Yep, that'll do it. Okay, so I'm sure there's like a delete this window or something like that.
Yeah.
Now let's jump back to the other window and do delete buffer. So get that one's a space B D W. So space, yeah. Well, you did close window. I just wanted to close the buffer and leave the window. But that's okay. So space BD is close the buffer. I mean, you could do that here. This file basically.
Okay, so do space B.
D.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. So now you're back to that. So, but you could do space BB. It'll show you open buffers and recently closed buffers. Or actually, I think it'll just keeps like a huge history. See, so you close dot space max, but it's still right there.
Yeah.
It's going to show up in searches. So Dired or Dured is like the is the directory browser. I'm sure there's like 15 others, but it's a good one. So yeah, you can do Dired or space AD. So go ahead and hit that. All right, so now we're going to go just find a directory with code. You can that you can share somewhat.
There we go. Okay.
And you can type in there, so it's got fuzzy search.
Oh, exorcism. I don't know. How do I get out here? So it's AD. Can I go back?
What are you trying to do?
Oh, arrows. Arrows worked. Cool. I'm just looking at the.
Okay,
I don't know what files I have. I have to look and see which ones I can use and which ones I can't.
Yeah. So just open up any one of them, basically.
Yeah. Yep. Here we can do the Phoenix. We can definitely go inside here. All right.
Oh, well, actually, yeah. So let's go hit enter on that. Okay, so there you go. You got a nice directory browser. You can split window if you really wanted to. Now, here's the thing. This is I believe the way it works is just whatever buffer is focused is correlated to a project, where a project is just search up from this buffer to the closest .git or .hg or .svn directory. Okay. So now you should have access to this project. So I think space F. So space project F.
So space
project P and an F. Yep. Now, so this is your equivalent of command P, basically. Find a file, whatever you want. Yeah, let's open that up. Cool. So, I mean, obviously, you're probably going to want some sort of Elixir mode.
Yeah. So how do I get elixirs?
We would search for what it is. It's either going to be called Elixir -mode or just Elixir.
Where would I search for it? Oh, I think I lost George. Let's see if I can find it myself.
And I accidentally refreshed my screen. So, yeah, you just probably Google, let's see, Emacs, Elixir.
Like so that's either search for Emacs and Elixir?
Yeah, I just Googled Emacs. I just Googled it. Emacs Elixir. To see what we have. Elixir -mode. Okay, so first of all, actually, let's see if it's already installed. So let's do the MetaX menu. So space. Elixir. Try that. No, there isn't. Okay, so let's open up the .spacemac file.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, I want to look up my buffers can load it up. So if I did space buffers in BB, I get the open ones. I can go to space dot. Isn't there a dot space?
The dot file.
I not see it. Is it?
Yeah, and you can type. You can just start typing .spacemac.
Oh, here's a recent. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna underneath golden ratio. We're just gonna add Elixir -mode.
Oh, hey, what's it did a search for it too, like.
Yeah.
Elixir Dogma. Oh.
I have no idea what that is.
That's like ESLint.
Yeah. So save it. So it's :W, right?
And then I want to do blah and did file E capital R.
Right. Which I'll tell you what it's bound to.
Yeah. Okay.
Bound to sync configuration. That's why you weren't finding it. It's sync configuration layers. .spacemac. Okay. So now that you have that, let's switch back to, I guess, that window.
And if I want to open up in this buffer,
BB. Right.
and I can go back to my. There we go.
Yeah.
That didn't look like it got coloring at all.
Okay, well, let's do Meta X and search for Elixir mode now. See if that gives us anything better.
Okay. Hey.
Okay, so it's not triggering by default, so we would need to somehow, I'm sure if you look up the Elixir mode docs, it'll tell you what to do. Right? I don't know. I that part of it I still haven't fully figured out. But there you go. You got all that. Let's do this. So let's switch to the other window.
Okay. All right. Any other window? What am I doing now?
Well, let's open up the shell in here. So the MetaX menu, and just type shell. That's a regular shell. eShell is actually a nicer shell. Oh, okay. So let's move that to the other window. So the space. Oh no, I'm sorry, not space. It'll be W, and then it'll be capital L. Yeah. Capital L will move. Oh, I'm sorry. That's move window, which is not what we want, but that's okay. So now, we wanted to move buffer to other window, but it's okay. This is the same effect.
Window move buffer to other window.
I don't know where that is. That's okay. It doesn't. You know what? It doesn't really freaking matter because we can switch to the other window and just open the buffer we want in there.
Right.
So yeah. So let's switch to the other window.
There you go. And what am I doing?
And now we do space BB. You can open up your Elixir file. Yep. So we can switch to the bash thing. So now you have a full bash. You can do whatever you want in there. You can,
and it's Vim mode. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, and the one nice thing is you have mode over all of it. So use Vim to select text, paste it, and so on. The other thing is there's actually a different shell, which is an Emacs enabled shell that does a couple things better, basically.
Don't open Vim and Emacs.
I don't know what all that is, but it's your Elixir stuff.
Yeah. It's because I have to turn my Postgres off when I'm doing other work because of Dockers. So
there you go.
I need to set up a Docker config file for this project. That'll be another day.
Yep. Did you say something, Seth?
Yeah, I just said just don't open Vim in the Emacs shell.
Yeah, that's actually serious. When you commit in here, if you forget the -M, you'll open up Vim. And how the heck do you quit Vim when hitting : puts you into the command for Emacs itself? So you have to open up another terminal and kill process Vim or VI or whatever. Yeah, that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. You just broke the matrix.
yeah. But I mean, this is cool, and it's got that. So eShell is another useful one. Just it's a slightly nicer shell. You can get there from the MetaX menu as well.
So what's the shell command to? Is it clear? Isn't it?
I think it is clear.
So I say clear. Oh, maybe it doesn't do it in time.
Yeah, it might not do it. It's not a full shell emulator. Each shell, I think, does work. So the other nice thing, I guess, if you want to play with eLisp or anything like that, really, just you can just open up the Scratch buffer and start typing all your Lisp commands in there.
Give me an example. I haven't done Lisp since 2000 or something.
Yeah, print ln, and then hi, right? No, you actually don't need to close a single quote because that's not actually what you're not actually doing a single quote. So don't close a single quote. That's actually a data atom high, right? So I think it will just print that data atom. So if you put your cursor at the end of the parenthesis and hit Control X, Control E. So you see at the bottom I printed high.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Also, I believe you can open the messages buffer and see that as well in there as well.
Is that a buffer and then messages or messages?
It's a buffer called messages. It's one of the ones that's available by default. Messages.
Buffer.
B. Yeah, no, just space BB and then type messages. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
So yeah, there's your evaluation of everything, debugging info, all that stuff. And you can see at the bottom it says high 2 times because I guess it does. Actually, the reason why is because println printed high and then also it returned high. That's probably yeah. So I mean that's the basic overview as far as making this stuff useful. I'm certain there's like a million different things to do, but yeah, I mean like that's the level at which I'm using it currently. I've done a little bit of customization in my .spacemax file, but not exactly a ton. There, if you read through the .spacemax file, you'll see there's an area toward the bottom where it just flat out says any of your customizations that you want to add them here, and that's where you would do it.
Well, I wonder if for the git commit thing that you're talking about, like, because the editor's Vim because we tell Git that the editor's Vim. Have y'all tried like changing the Git editor to be space Emacs?
No, I have not tried anything. No, I just don't. It's not a big enough issue for me to bother with. But it's happened like 3 times. I'm like, oh, god damn it. But I mean, like,
because you're just typing in autopilot, and then you realize.
At the moment, my much bigger concern is that I can't hit caps lock. Frickin' have it be escape. There's some really neat stuff. So I've been playing around with Clojure a bit lately. There's some neat stuff you could do with respect to that. The interesting thing is when they talk about REPL-driven development, apparently nobody actually means the REPL. Like, so what you could do is you can put your cursor on Clojure code and like evaluate it, and then have like the results appear like right in line. Like if you remember when we showed Wallaby, how like the results of the test would appear right in line.
Yes,
it just looks exactly like that when you're doing that. When you're working like on Clojure or Lisp or something like that.
Yeah. I'm hacking on something for Visual Studio Code to try to get that working.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. But yeah, I'm sure you can figure out how to toggle word wrap and stuff like that, line wrapping.
Yeah, so I'm trying to. How would you expect to do code completion?
So auto completion Emacs in general is, the only mode that I've worked with is based on other stuff that's in the file. So if you start typing and the thing that you're typing is in an open buffer somewhere, it should auto-complete it. But since you have like type safety and stuff like that, I would imagine there's something enabled for it. Probably like there's like
generally there's like there's a Elixir
type analysis on.
Yeah, there's a Elixir thing that you can generally have running, and then a lot of editors are plugging into that. At least that's a theory. I've never gotten it to work great, but I see other people's they work fantastic, and so
sure there's an Emacs mode with it, and I'm sure you'll have just as much trouble getting it to work.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but that's the basics right there. Like I said, if you just start typing there, it should autocomplete at least based on what else is in the file. And I think just a couple things so you know what I mean when it's talking about mode. Is that not? Is autocomplete not working?
Man, it didn't show up anything.
So try to Medica X and do autocomplete. Maybe that matters. I don't think.
Autocomplete
mode. Yeah. Error. No, it did say it did put an error somewhere. But it wouldn't be autocomplete. It would be like autocomplete mode or something like that. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Autocomplete mode.
Yeah. Yeah, autocomplete enabled for this buffer. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so you would have to do so. It's probably not enabled because it opened up and it had no idea what Elixir was, and you enabled it manually. So you would want to do whenever I enter an EX file, do that. We're kind of at time, but just really quickly, as far as modes, there's major modes and minor modes. Major mode is you get one per file, so it's basically the core syntax highlighting, core key shortcuts, and so on. You can have as many minor modes as you want. If you look at the bottom, you see your major mode is Elixir for the buffer, and all those little icons to the side of it are minor modes, and you can hover over them. And it'll kind of tell you, like, which key, for example, is the mode that provides that nice menu for, like, where you could do space BB and so on. I think all that stuff is, and it's useful to know. All right,
cool.
We are at time, but
yeah. Dude, we got it installed, got working, got a tour of Space Emacs. That's a mission accomplished. Really appreciate it. It was awesome.
No problem.
And then I guess we'll see each other, talk about it next week. And I have a couple other things on my list of things to share. And it was a good virtual brown bag.
All right. Bye.
Talk to you later, George. Bye. And Seth. Bye.